Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to show you the way that I like to change U-joints. So what we're working on today is the drive shaft out of my MGB. I got some fresh U-joints and this guy. This is a ball joint press. This one is mine. I bought it off Amazon years ago. You can rent these from the auto parts store for basically cost, and then you return it, so it ends up being free. What this basically is a really fancy C-clamp. So this is what I like to use to press the caps out. It seems to be enough power, reasonably affordable, and it's portable. You can use a big old hydraulic press. You can use a vise, you can use sockets and smack them with hammers, but this seems to be the best kind of bang for your buck. It works for me. Plus you can also use it for ball joints. One more thing before we start, I like to mark the flange and the yoke. That way they go back together in the same orientation. So just take a little Sharpie or a paint pen and just mark that and that. That way we know that this lines up with this, so we don't put it 180 degrees. It probably won't really be a big deal if you did switch them, but when in doubt, leave it together so that's balanced properly. So first step is going to be to remove all the snap rings. That came out surprisingly easy. Usually these are a giant pain in the butt. These ones are also the kind that you can use a normal set of pliers for. You probably need to use the actual snap ring pliers for some, and others the snap ring isn't in there. It's actually on the inside. It's like a C-clip. Those are a little hard to get to, but not too bad. They don't fight you nearly as bad as these guys can. Like this one fighting me now. There we go. So, yeah. All right. Snap rings removed. Now what we're going to do is take our press. And I could just put this on here right now and start going away, but I'm actually going to clamp this in the vise to make things a little bit more stable, and then work from there. So what we're going to do is put it in the press like so, and then just turn the crank. And what that'll do is press the U-joint out to one side. This is a pretty crusty drive shaft, so it makes sense that it's hard. Okay, there we go. You can see that movement. Now the trick is I don't want to press this cap all the way out. I just want to get it enough to where I can grab this cap. And it looks like I need to keep going a little bit more. Okay, so now we've got the bearing cap sticking out there. This side's all the way through. So what I can actually just do now is grab this with some channel locks, or actually I'm going to probably put it in the vise and pry that cap out. There we go. And then, if you're lucky, you can finagle the other guy out, but I don't think we're going to be lucky. So it means we have to do this again. Get that nice and lined up, and I'm going to press through this way to press this cap out. So same idea as the other side, just keep pushing. So a lot of times you don't want that cap to come out because it can be hard to get it centered again to push it back through. But on this particular one, I just had to push it all the way through and then try to realign it. Alright, we've come to an end. Now, just like last time, we're going to grab that with the vise and pull it all the way out. Alright, so now that just comes out like so. So now what I've got to do is the same thing, but for these caps. Okay, got everything out. Got my shiny new U-joint. So what we're going to do is basically we got to get these caps in to the ears. So what I like to do, we're going to start by I'm going to take 2 of these off and put them over there for safety. Now we just need to get the one in. I'm going to have this clocked so that this one has a grease port. I'm going to have that facing this way, otherwise I won't be able to get to it. So what we're going to do, I can't just knock it in like that. So we're going to press a single cap in, and then, well, press a single cap in first, then we're going to snake that guy, the rest of the joint in. It's important to get it in nice and square. If you go a little bit off, you can always kind of recorrect. This isn't really playing well today. Anyway, that's probably in enough. So here's the trick. Take that guy out, slip this in like so. I'm going to hold that cap over there. I'm going to continue to press this side in. Until it's a little bit past center. Because the goal is that I want to get both caps on at the same time and have the needle bearings kind of engaged on both shafts. But since this side is in a little bit far, it gives us a perfect excuse to stick our snap ring on. So I'm going to take my fancy snap ring pliers from Harbor Freight, grip that snap ring, and put it into the little groove. A little bit out. There we go, in the groove. Now, I'm going to take that cap that I stashed away, I'm going to bring this up to it, And then I'm going to press that in there while those are all engaged, because what we don't want to do is have the needle bearings that are inside these caps fall over, because if that happens, then you've basically ruined the joint. I'm going to keep everything in line. Okay, now you can see both of the rubber seals are touching the middle of that joint. So that tells me that we have all of the none of the needle bearings fell over. Now I'm going to press this in until it stops. That means that this cap is touching that snap ring. And now I can stick my snap ring on this side. Then it's a little bit tight, so to relieve it, we're just going to tap on the yoke and that should loosen it up. I'll just keep going on that. So now I just got to do the same thing with the other caps and we're good to go. So there we go. Just got to put the last snap ring in. One thing to note, a lot of times the snap ring does actually have a side because the way they're stamped out of a piece of sheet metal or spring steel, what have you, there's usually a rounded side and a sharp side. You want to have that sharp side facing up so that it grabs in the hole fully. Otherwise, there's always a chance that the snap ring could pop out. All right. There we go. So now, just got to take my grease zerk and install it. And we are ready to go. So this flange is actually off of a different drive shaft, which is why I have a mark there and no mark there. The one that was on this was very abused. I started getting this guy out and then I just noticed how folded over this edge and this edge were, and I just wasn't going to get those caps out, and I couldn't guarantee that the ears were salvageable. So this is off of a different drive shaft, same car. This is actually off of the original drive shaft to the car. The ears on the original were completely shot, so I had a spare flange kicking around. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. Hope you learned something. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching. Probably shouldn't have had this all the way out. And if I look pretty sweaty, it's because it's about 100 degrees in Denver. It's pretty hot in the garage.